welcome to Renovate My Space. I'm Nicole, and I've been asked to give some advice and information on renovating. Now, we've just done a cottage in our garden, and we've learnt a lot. So I have my notes, and I'm going to give as quick a rundown as possible, just some hints, tips, things that we learned throughout our renovation. So first thing that I would suggest, number one, is make a plan. Make sure you know what you want, what the pros, cons are, do your research, go into detail. Check your layouts, check your lighting, check your plumbing, and check your land boundaries. It's very important. You need to know what lines run where. You also need to know how close you can build up to walls, things like that, so, and get council approval. So it's quite important to make sure you have a plan. Take your time to do it. It might take a few weeks, but make sure you've done your research and know what you want exactly. Second thing, know your costs. This is the time to get out those spreadsheets, all those people that love numbers. Try and get an approximate cost from a builder. They tend to be quite difficult to give costs, understandably. But try and just get it kind of in a ballpark idea, just to help you with budgeting. Also, certain things will cost more than other things. Certain materials will cost more. Also, just be aware that structural work will cost more. You'll need to get a structural engineer in. Also plumbing, if you're going to be moving plumbing around, that can also cost more. Also, don't forget to cost in your finishes. You'll be surprised how much extra this can bring or add to your cost. Also, bear in mind you need to cost up an architect if you need one, a structural engineer if you need one, your council approvals if you're going to need council approval. You will need to get certificates for the following: electrics, plumbing, gas, glazing and aluminium, a structural engineer, and an occupancy certificate, which is your compliance building certificate. If any of these apply, obviously you're going to need to get these. They cost more money. Just make sure you know which certificates you are going to require. Once you've got all these costs together, add 20% contingency. Things go wrong, things you don't anticipate, whatever. So add a good 20% minimum to your final cost. Number three, contact your contractors. If you have an architect, need to get an architect. When you contact him or her, make sure you know exactly what it is that you're wanting. Show them pictures, designs, whatever it is. Know your budget, know what you want, and be very, very clear with them. For your builder, get itemized quotes from them so that you know exactly what is where your money is going. What can you DIY? Is there anything that you can DIY? Show the builder your plan. Obviously, you need a plan before you get your final cost from your builder. And this is quite important because you need to get them to quote based on that plan, and they're going to build based on that plan, and everything is going to be coming back to that plan, and that's quite important so that you have a central thing to work from. Also, find out exactly what is included, what materials is included. Is rubbish removal included? Builder's toilets, is that going to be included? If he needs additional materials, who's going to pay for that? If he's quoted a certain amount of bricks and you need more, who's going to fork out this money? Is it going to be supply and fit? It's good to confirm this with them. Another way to just kind of figure out if a builder is right for you is to get them to do a small job. If you're happy with it, happy with the quality, perhaps it's a good option to use them. Make sure you know delivery dates, start dates, where things will be stored. This is quite important. Also, a tip throughout is whenever you have a conversation with any of your contractors, follow up with written text. This way nothing can get missed. And ask them about their COCs. These are your certificates of appliance. Make sure they know what it is and that they are able to supply it for you. Then for the interior, know what you want where, measure things, plan things. Things that you don't expect to be planning is, or expect to be asked, is plug points. More plug points you have, the more expensive it's going to get, but you also need to have enough and make sure you know where you want them. Also, your lighting points, make sure you know where you want them and how many lighting points you want, and that they will either supply the lighting or just put the point in and attach the lighting that you are going to be buying. Then the next thing to do is just number 5 in my points that I have in my notes, is build day. Build day is going to be overwhelming. It's exciting, but it is going to be overwhelming. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of dust, a lot of noise, and a lot of decisions and questions. And this is where having your plan really comes into play. The things that we had planned, that we knew exactly, my husband is very pedantic on these kind of things, which was really good. And so when the electrician came, it's like, okay, where do you need the plug points? Where do you need the lighting? I could say, okay, here, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is what we need, da-da-da. And it's quite important, and this is where your planning really comes into play, is when the builders come, when the contractors come, whoever it is to know exactly what is going on from your side. Otherwise, it could create irritation on their side, or confusion or miscommunication. Also check in on things daily. Something that we learned, our particular builder wasn't happy with this, but we went every day to make sure that we were happy with everything, so that anything that needed sorting could get sorted straight away, and not wait until everything's finished and then, oh, actually no, this window is too high, too low, you know, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right type of thing. And again, I will reiterate, write things down once you've spoken to your contractor. So if you have a conversation over the phone or conversation face to face, send them a message afterwards just to confirm this is what we have discussed, etc. Also, don't forget those final certificates. This is very, very important. Your building cannot be approved unless you have these certificates. They are very, very important. In the beginning, make sure you have asked that they can supply them. And at the end, we were advised by our particular architect not to pay for the certificates or that final little bit of the snags and all that stuff until we'd received the certificates. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that answered some of your questions. If there are any more questions, or if there's anything you want me to go into more detail about, please just drop me a message, make a comment, it doesn't matter. But this is a YouTube channel that I am now starting. I had a lot of questions about people who want to just have renovating done, want to do it themselves, they have a room, how can I renovate it under a budget? And we're going to be discussing all of that here. We're going to be doing room makeovers, hints, tips, DIY information, places that you can get stuff. You know, these kind of channels are very popular, and there's tons of them in America and in the UK, but nothing in South Africa, nothing that is kind of homegrown to us here. So I thought I would get something started, get something going, and perhaps we can just create a community where we can help each other renovate, you know, renovating my space stroke renovating your space. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know if there's anything in particular you need help and advice on, or you would like me to discuss. But yeah, that's me done, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, bye.